Hello, you wonderful people of humans of the earth. Oh no, what's happened to this chair? Oh dear. Is it my fault? Did I do this? Oh no. Welcome back. I'm here to talk to you. Yes, my hair is dark again. I have a video shoot next week, so I had to retouch it. It looks a little bit red in real life. I like it. So you wonderful human, let's talk about sexual pleasure. And does that mean that God is real because sexual pleasure is real? Title of the video, does sexual pleasure mean God is real? Should I just jump straight to my answer? Video done, ended. Yes, God is real. Oh, how I wish it was that simple. Like, please, God, come down from the sky and talk to me. Like, please. I have been begging for 14 years now. Like, come on, please, please. Sorry, I have anger issues inside of my body. I don't take accountability for them, right? I blame it on this world, I blame it on God, everybody but me. My anger issues are not my fault. So I'm having this conversation for the purposes of talking about God and talking about sexual pleasure. One of my two favorite subjects. Oh my God, I just realized this is my two favorite subjects to talk about. Sex and God. Not the religious God, because I will be debating with people and kind of like getting irritated and stuff. Not that religious God, but just like the existence of life and what life means. Oh my God, I met somebody who was in a coma and he lived 62 years in a coma. Okay, I didn't meet him, I already knew him, but I just saw him again and he told me that he lived 62 years. He woke up every day, went to sleep every day for 62 years, and he was only in the coma for 2 months, but he lived 62 years in his coma. I was just like, what? Anyways, that was a side distraction. So what happened this week that I'm talking about this today? Well, I was in the shower, I was doing my thing. I don't know what that means to you, but I know what it means to me. And I concluded, yeah, that science is a little bit stupid to presume that nothing has reason and that there's something bigger going on before the Big Bang and all about the Big Bang. I feel like that that science is a little bit stupid to conclude or to not conclude that something else is going on here. And to be honest, I feel like that a lot of scientists nowadays, they're kind of like, I'm so sad about this chair. I hope my mum hasn't like seen it yet, because she'll be like, it's Nayna, she brings it up and down the stairs all the time. Anyway, so I concluded when I was in the shower that science is a little bit stupid, but then at the same time, they have every right to kind of go, yeah, but where's God, mate? Divided into billions of different pieces across the universe, that's where God is, which is, I think that's a little bit of a mess, and I feel like we need to like tidy up that picture and come together as a picture instead of like the scattered pieces everywhere, just like minding their own business. We need to come together, put the picture back together of God. But I think it's a little bit stupid, and I was in the shower concluding this, come on guys, come on. Anyways, let's get into the discussion. I kind of want to talk about what pleasure is for a second, because it just feels really, really good. Like, it's so intense and it's so and it's so like sometimes I want to stop using sound effects in my videos, and then sometimes it's so perfect, so I really don't know what to do, and I don't know how to cut it down either, and I have tried to cut it down, but I don't know how to cut it down all the way. Maybe I should have like maximum of 10 noises in the video, and I have about 30. So sexual pleasure is achieved by having some type of like mental state, because obviously when you're turned on and like if you put a shower hose onto your clitoris, no, to be honest, if you do that, like you might just like catch yourself off guard, so then you might get turned on. But it's a whole like mental thing of like, oh, I'm turned on, because like if you reject the turning on of like, oh, I don't care, then maybe the clitoris won't build up an orgasm. Like you have to like be into it and kind of go, oh yeah, I'm turned on, oh yeah, I'm going to do, oh yeah, it's growing, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. There's a lot of oh yeahs in there. So then it is a mental game to get yourself into a climax of an orgasm, but nonetheless you reach a peak, and then there's pleasure, and so then the pleasure, well, I don't know about you yet, but my pleasure like goes to my heart, and depending how I feel about myself, that feeling intensifies and it comes into my vision and into my feelings. So if I feel rubbish about myself, you best bet that when I have a climax, I have an orgasm, that feeling is going to come into my chest of however I feel about myself. So because I've been doing so much work on myself to love myself and to really find myself amazing, my climaxes have been like wonderful lately, because I've just been feeling like a god. I really have. But nevertheless, there's this like hot pleasure. It's like hot. Is that how I can describe it? It's like hot, and it goes like and then it just shoots up through my stomach into my chest, and it goes, and then my head has these thoughts of like, and it's all just really intense. Am I an alien? Does everybody experience that? I think they do. I don't have any friends right now, so I can't even ask them like, do you experience this or experience that? Because I don't have any friends right now, because I am very difficult, and I'd rather stay difficult because I'm not having people mess me around. No thank you. Anyways, that's beside the point of what I'm talking about. So then the God subject, which I'm always gonna find an excuse to talk about God, right? Because I think here that religion has taken the God word and they have put it into this being in the sky. I don't know if he lives in the sky, if he lives like in some other dimension, but whatever, he lives somewhere else. He doesn't live here, or he does live here. I don't know, because he's omni, whatever the word is. My son always tells me the word and I always forget it, just like people's names. Apart from people I fancy, I remember those names. So then God equals purpose, right? That meaning there's reason, there's purpose, there's meaning behind your existence. So God means you're here for a reason, and there's a whole existence after you're born. No, after you die and before you're born. There's a whole reason, there's a whole like thing going on here aside from you being a human, which that's a lyric in one of my songs that I have not yet released. I've written here, how wash pleasure created by accident. So anyways, let's go back to science here for a second, because the Big Bang created this by accident, right? So then, what and how did the Big Bang create pleasure? Because like pleasure is something that's really nice. You want it over and over again. It feels really, really good. And it's like, how did the Big Bang accidentally create pleasure? Something that you seek for, something that you want more of, something that you become addicted to, something that feels good, something that like entices you to do something. Why the heck would like a big accidental bang? Do you know what? I don't even know why we call it a bang, because I bet you it was silent. And a bang is not silent. Right, anyway, so how did that... Oops. My energy gets a little bit too much. You know what? I'm so sad about this chair. So the Big Bang created this accidental pleasure possibility. Like now I can play with myself and I get pleasure by accident because of a Big Bang. And now it's like pleasure. Oh, it's like, it just sounds so stupid that you think that that's an accident. I keep using the word stupid. That word wasn't allowed in my vocabulary when my son was like 4 years old. And now it's like all over the place. Like, I need to get myself together. I wasn't allowed to say stupid because my son wasn't allowed to say stupid. And I have to lead by example. So then I cannot be saying words that my son's not allowed to say, or I can't be doing things that my son's not allowed to do because I have to lead by example. So then I wasn't allowed to say the word stupid ever because he wasn't. Wow. So then the accidental Big Bang theory, right? People justify the pleasure because like we need to procreate, even though like what is the need to procreate? Who in the Big Bang by accident said, oh yeah, we need to survive? So then there's already reason there. If you think you need to survive to continue to build your human race family, then that means that there is reason and purpose inside of the Big Bang. But because the Big Bang was an accident, then why would the Big Bang want for you to continue to be a Big Bang? Like, it just makes no sense. It's just so annoying and stupid. And to be honest, I bet you scientists now, they've changed their story. They're like, no, we're not saying that God doesn't exist. We're just saying that we don't know because we haven't found it yet. So we could only conclude what we already know. And what we already know is that we can't see God. So, but we're not saying that it's not real, because like, why would the Big Bang need you to procreate? Why would the Big Bang be intelligent enough to know that it needs to procreate and then quickly make up pleasure? So then to make sure that you procreate. And then even so, right? If the Big Bang did do that out of weirdness and it said, yes, we're going to put pleasure there so you procreate so then you don't die off your race. I don't know if that just made sense. The thing is, my clitoral orgasm, which I spend a lot of time doing, what? It doesn't procreate, nor does it have anything to do with procreation. It has nothing to do with a penis. It has nothing to do with the sperm going inside of me. It's just me and my pleasure all by myself. When I stimulate my clitoris, it's just me and my pleasure. So then it has nothing to do with procreation. My stimulation of my clitoris and my climax all by myself, it has nothing to do with procreation. Yeah. I don't sit there in the shower and kind of go, oh, as soon as I climax, I'm like, oh, I wish I had a penis right here. Like, no. My next thought after I climax is like, right, let me get on with my day. I don't think about a sperm being inside of me. So my clitoral orgasm has nothing to do with procreation, yet it is there and I take advantage of it all the time. So why is that? Why would the Big Bang create me some pleasure that has nothing to do with procreation? I wonder if the Big Bang was slower, if it was fast. Was it like in an instant? because I've not researched this thing, because I don't have interest in it. Maybe I'll ask somebody that has researched it to see what he has to say about that. Was the Big Bang instant, or was the Big Bang a slow bang, a slow motion? Okay. And so then we've become accustomed to self-pleasuring alone without having the need to mate. We've actually done that quite a lot. So then that shows you then that the pleasure is above the mating, because you want the pleasure, because you do the pleasure alone. If the mating was above the pleasure and the sole purpose of it, then, or the main purpose of it, then you would seek to be mating more than you self-pleasure. But we don't. We self-pleasure way more than what we mate. So it seems that the pleasure is there for the purposes of pleasure and not the purposes of mating. It's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And for me, it's like the pleasure comes first, and then the consequence of the pleasure can be a child, but it's not the main focus. The main focus is to pleasure yourself. And so then the Big Bang cannot have created that. Only something that has intention and that has purpose would say, yes, I want you to please yourself. So then it's a want and a need, which is an intelligence beyond an accident, right? And things are so complicated in this world. They're so intricate. Like this thing here, like what? We've made love hearts, have we? We put 3 of them together, have we? And then I've painted it white. Like everything has so much detail and so much decision and so much decisions and complex ideas. And look at this set I've put together, all complex ideas of like, oh, I want it to be like this. I keep remembering this chair and it keeps upsetting me. This is my OCD that just can't let things go. So something has to be behind this complexity. I'm looking at here, all these frames in my living room. Look how complex everything is. I've put that there. I put it a little bit up, a little bit down. Everything is mathematical. Everything is like do. The plant is like existing. Like, oh, come on. That was an accident. Come on. Now I know what you're saying, and I know what my brain's saying. Like, okay, if it's not an accident, okay, we got past that. It's not an accident. But what is it then? What is it? What is God, mate? I will be answering that when I can. But there's something there, there's something behind it. And so then the big question is God real? The religious God, hell no, that God cannot be real, because my heart does not want that. That God over there that they talk about, that is just so immature anyway. And that I'm sussing that out about the human race. Like, it's so immature, everything is so underdeveloped, everything is so primitive. And so then of course you're gonna start talking about God as an existence of like this like creator who like overlooks everything and who doesn't even pay attention to you when you ask it for help, and who does in its own little way. Not really, depending on what your mind frame is, which that's a whole other subject. So then God has to be some type of existence, not the Big Bang, an existence. We are an existence. We're here existing for a reason, for a purpose. We don't know yet what that is. There's like probably like 1 million different ideas as to why we are existing here, right? And everybody's talking about all these different things. And so then some people sit there and they conclude on what that all means, and then some people don't, and they just get on with life and they live and they die that way, just getting on with life. So then because we don't know what life is and we don't know what God is, right? At least we could then try to make better choices for like the collective, for like everybody. Let's try better. Let's try harder. Let's be kinder. Let's choose better. Let's do better. Let's do better so then we can have a better world. Let's just do that. Forget about God and why we're here and stuff. Actually, let's not forget about that. But let's concentrate on the here and the now, and we can make it better here and now just by making better choices and by choosing to be a better person, which I want to do every single second of every day. I just want to be the best person for everybody, not for myself, because I don't even want to live for myself anyway. I actually want just to live for all things and not just for myself, because that's just boring to live for yourself. Which technically that's what God is, like just living for itself. So that's probably why it split itself into billions of pieces, because it's like, let me pretend that I'm not alone here. But then that just sounds a bit depressing, so I don't know about that. So I'm doing psychology at the moment. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm sitting with a psychologist who's helping me, and she's giving me therapy, and she's introducing something called schema, and it's an approach in psychology, and they talk about like the impacts that you have as a child. And I'm telling you, right, we get so many things wrong, and actually it's making me panic at how many things I got wrong with my son, because I don't want him to turn around as an adult and kind of say, oh, well, you've messed me up, and I'll be like, I'm so sorry. Which technically that's what every parent should do, is like cry and then say you're sorry and then try and make it better instead of hiding under a rock pretending you haven't messed up. Anyways, the point that I was making is that children are taught really bad habits. Yes, they are. And if you're not careful, your children are going to go out into the world and they're going to be abusers by accident, poor little things. They don't know what they're doing. Then they get into these habits. Then they go out into the world and they bully other people. Your children are bullying other people. God, that would infuriate me. And I always warn Gabriel, like, I never want to hear about him being any type of bully because I will lose my... Like, please never, ever, ever do that. But he's not anyway because he copied me, right? And I am way far away from being a bully, right? And because he's copied me, he's probably never going to be a bully. But anyways, we've been bad leaders to our children, and therefore our children has now become adults and they have now become leaders. And so this world is the way it is, teaching about big bangs and religious gods because they have been taught in an abusive way. They have been abused. Now they are abusing the human race, and here we are taking it, abusing each other, pretending that life is some low vibrational existence that has no meaning or that is enslaved by a evil god or by the devil, whatever, however you look at it. And it's because we've not done a good job. We've not done a good job. We've not done a good job. I know I just repeated that 3 times. Sorry about that. So my closing conclusion to this video. Something is there behind the scenes. Sexual pleasure is a proof all by itself that something is there, kind of going, go on, pleasure yourself. Okay, I know that religion says that that's the devil, which that is just so stupid. Because how can something that's pleasurable be a bad thing? And this is what I mean about the evil God. Like, the evil God is kind of going, yeah, I'm going to put something that feels good, and if you do it, you're bad, and I'm going to punish you. It's like, what type of sick evil God will do that? Because I won't do that to my son, and I'm not evil, right? So I'm not going to sit there and dangle something in your face and kind of go, if you take this, you're bad. Like, that's sickening. Stop doing that. That's bad behavior. Don't do that. Don't dangle things in people's faces that they're not allowed to have. Don't do that. That's annoying. Don't do that. Wow. So my point, I keep getting distracted, is that something is there behind the scenes. Something is there. The Big Bang is not real. Hey. Okay, even if the Big Bang did happen, there was a reason behind it. There was like a click, like boom, Big Bang exists. There was a reason. There's something behind all of this because sexual pleasure exists. Because then why, you could have just like made mating easier, like accidental as well, like, oh, I'm gonna touch your finger, we're gonna accidentally procreate. Like, come on, there didn't need to be a process to procreation. Why did there need to be a process? Let's just touch fingers and then we procreate. Why is there a process? No, you had to go and put sexual pleasure in there. You had to make sexual pleasure a thing that you could do all by yourself as well. So come on, there's something behind all of this. It's not just the Big Bang. Big Bang is not real. Okay, it's real, but you know, I've already said it. So pleasure is too real and too intense and too nice for it to not have reason, for it to not have purpose. So therefore, pleasure equals God is real. Okay, thank you very much. So let me leave you with a quote then. Paulo Coelho, he's a Brazilian writer. Is he Brazilian? I think he is Brazilian. He said, the greatest pleasure isn't sex, but the passion with which it is practiced. Because without the passion, sex would be a frivolous, quick, instant. And instead, it has all these different things. When you put meaning and you put thought and you put ideas behind the pleasure, then it becomes passion, and then it becomes a bigger experience rather than just like sexual pleasure. And again, the Big Bang really made that, did they? Nah. No, they didn't. Nah. There's something behind all of this, guys. And I will find out what it is, and I will come and tell you. So let's at least find connection between us all, right? Let's at least do that. We don't have all of the answers, but let's at least celebrate this connection, this sexual exchange that we have towards each other, the love that we have towards each other. Let's at least do that and take advantage of that. And let's bring meaning, our own meaning, into each other and what we do with each other. Let's just all be kind, please. Let's all just be kind. And if you don't know what kindness looks like, that's okay. I've got you. I will do videos about kindness. Should I do a video about kindness? Actually, I've done a project inspiration video and I'm just a bit embarrassed to like post it. I think I'm just going to post that because I talk a lot about kindness in that video and what it looks like and how to choose it and how to do it. So yeah, so I'm going to post that video. I'm going to do it. Okay, thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm wearing blue today. I will be back with another video. If you want me to talk about anything, please do let me know. Feel free to comment. Feel free to ask me anything. Feel free to Please don't challenge me, I don't like that. I mean, you can, but I might ignore you if it's like annoying.
What?
I'm joking, I'll try not to. I'll be your mother. You listen to me. Okay, I'm gonna go, alright. See you later. See you next week. Goodbye.